Hi, James here, bringing you a video on how to create a budget in 5 easy steps. All you need is a pen and paper, and at the end of it, you're going to remember 2 numbers. And hopefully this will help increase your savings month on month and create a bigger balance in your bank accounts. Okay, now I said you just need a pen and paper. Ideally you need a calculator as well, but preferably I would be doing this on Excel. Okay, it adds everything up for you. It's easy. You've got other options to change numbers, easily update them if you come to review your budget, and I suggest you review these regularly. Be that every time your job changes, anytime any of your significant cost changes, or maybe just on a annually or a monthly basis. Step number 1, list your income. Okay, so this is your salary or your partner's salary as well, and any other income you receive. We're interested not in your gross pay, but your monthly pay, your net pay that you get from your payslip paid into your account. This is your cash in, okay? Add those up, make note of the total, and that is your total income. Step number 2, monthly costs. Again, make a list, every single cost you have. Mortgage, council tax, water bills, anything, okay? Even your Netflix and your TV license costs. Everything's included. Make an estimation on what your monthly food bill is, your fuel bill, everything like that. Anything that you spend that's monthly, put in that list. Now this is important. It needs to be accurate so that we can review the costs, but it's going to give you an indication on actually how much money you have to spend and how much money is going out of your account that maybe you don't need to use. It's amazing how many people don't realise what they're spending until they write it down and add it all up. Okay, step number 3, okay, this is your annual costs. So this can be anything from MOT and service for your car, your insurance if you pay that annually, and anything else that you pay on an annual basis. Okay, so I include my boiler service, my Prime membership, AA or RAC recovery, anything else like that. List those, add all the numbers up, and you'll get a total of annual cost. Divide it by 12, and that goes into the next calculation. Step number 4, similar to your annual costs, we need to look at gifts. How many people get to Christmas and don't have any money left for gifts and have to put them on a credit card? Or come January, they've got no money left because they spent it all on iPads and all sorts of presents for other people and not budgeted well. Now this is an important thing for me. I allocate a certain amount of money per person. We've got quite a big family, got quite a few friends, so it's important that we add all of those up and work out how much per month we need to put away so that come Christmas or come birthday, we've just got a pot of money that we can use for those presents, okay? Add all those up, again, divide it by 12, and that goes into the next calculation. Step number 5. Now this is where you've got a bit more leeway. Everything else before this has kind of been facts. It's kind of, this is your income, this is your expenses, this is what you spend and how many people you've got to buy presents for. This is the sort of the first number you really have to think about, okay? This is your spending money. So each month, allocate yourself an amount of money that you can spend. Now, I use £300 a month as a basis, which works out about £75 per week. For me, that works quite well. My wife has a same amount, so we take it in turns to go out for dinner and pay for dinner. So it goes quite far, especially when you go out for drinks and meals with your friends and doing other activities also to buy your clothes from. But remember, there's no bills in there at all. No bills should be coming out of this amount. This is purely your spending money for the month. Okay, so allocate that, and then we move on to the final calculation. You take your income, you take your monthly expenses, you take your annual expenses that you've divided by 12, and you take your gifts total divided by 12, and you deduct those, okay? That will give you a disposable income. You then take away your spending money, and this leaves you with a balance that you can now save. Now hopefully some of you are already doing this, but others may not be, and this is a way of helping you to work out what you can be saving quite easily. And no one's telling you to save this amount, that amount. It doesn't matter what you're saving. It's important that you map out your costs, map out your budget for everything else we've listed in the previous steps, so you're aware of what all those costs are. But it's also important to understand what you could potentially be saving if you just control your spendings. Okay, so here's some tips for your budgeting. Make it really simple. And this is why we're saying you only really need to remember two numbers. Okay, I have an account that all my money goes into, and that's where all my bills come out of. Okay, start off like that. Make sure all your bills come out on the first of the month. They're easy to change. Ring up your companies, ring up whoever your provider is, get those changed to the first. A lot of them will do it free of charge, quite easily, and they can do it for the next billing cycle. So now we know all our bills come out on the first, we can transfer our spending money into a separate account. Use this to go out with, use this to enjoy yourself with, spend that money. Now you can use that amount and completely spend it throughout the whole month, or if there's some left over, fine, leave it to roll over, or if you want to put it into a savings account afterwards, completely up to you. But that money there is purely for spending. That's why we've done this exercise already. Another tip is your annual costs and your gifts. I would set up two separate savings accounts. Now you're not going to get a great interest rate, but in reality, you're going to need those costs within probably 1 or 2 months, and maximum it's going to be 12 months. Okay, so you're not going to get a huge amount of interest. Whatever those monthly contributions are towards the annual costs or gifts, put that into separate accounts at the end of the month. So you should have an account with all your income and your bills, an account for spending money, an account for gifts, an account for annual costs, and then you've got your savings balance. Now this is where it gets interesting. There's lots of different options. Okay, now I can't give you financial advice. I'm not a qualified financial advisor, but I can tell you what I do. Now, I put certain amounts of money into stocks and shares through 212 Trading. Now, if you click on the link below, it takes you to their app. It's easy to set up. Now, if you click on that, both you and I get a free share. So it's a good way of starting yourself off. I've done it a couple of times now, received quite a few good shares. It can be in the range of £1 to £100. Okay, so click that link, follow the steps. It's easy to set up. Just make sure you're aware of the risks of trading stocks and shares. Okay, I've set up an invest account. You can also set up an ISA. I probably wouldn't suggest CFDs unless you really understand the risks. CFDs are a very quick and easy way to lose a lot of money, which is counterintuitive for this video. Okay, they have a free money account option. So open one of those, have a play around, get used to the platform, get used to the format, see how well you do, but look into the companies before you purchase anything and understand the risks of putting your money in stocks and shares. The other thing you can do with the savings is you can put it into a savings account. Now, at the moment, you're not getting very good interest rates. I think I've been lucky to maintain a 1.85, maybe a 2% regular saver, which I got about 11 months ago, so that's coming to an end. Have a look what's out there on your comparison sites to see what is the best interest rate you can get on your savings. Obviously, consider tax. That is an issue, but you have £2,000 worth of tax savings. Now, hopefully the people this audience is aimed at, we shouldn't be going over that in terms of interest, but you never know. Okay, so have a look around and put some money into savings.